Why?
Oh, brother.
That is okay.
I've never seen that particular error occur.
Yeah, that was a program error for sure.
It was, and now all of a sudden the screen view on the video looks different. One day I'll figure all this stuff out.
This is much more fun.
By the time I get it figured out, we'll have some completely new technology that'll take over all this stuff, and it won't even matter anymore. There are a couple of people starting to tune in.
Are you sure you don't just want to go back to using your cell phone?
That was fun.
It was fun.
It worked. It worked for a bunch of shows.
You could just get the little microphone, lapel microphone.
We have those.
We have those. We have those.
Yeah.
Here's what the issue is. At the end of the day, it's because we've chosen the most difficult setting to have our studio in. This outside setting where we can't control anything.
And you can't keep anything here. It has to all get packed up. And
yes.
Right.
Every
single
time.
time.
And also because Matt's doing 2 shows. So even if we were just doing this show outside or inside, he still has to pack it up to do his other show.
And how's that flight across coast? You're going out to California to do that.
Right.
Like Regis used to do when he was doing live.
Yes.
Right.
And Millionaire. So you get the flight out to the West Coast.
Well, imagine me.
You're just going. Yeah, you got it easy. You're just going to Boyertown.
All right, so you're getting and going up 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing a red eye across the country.
Well, it's just similar to Regis.
In some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. But you are right. It would be much simpler to do under studio circumstances, and if we were recording the show, that would help too. I'm getting some requests for volume on the guest mic. Hold on.
People want to hear
That's
me?
mic 3.
What is happening?
That's mic number 3.
I forgot to turn it on.
That could explain why.
We were a little frantic. So Matt and I were having like an existential conversation before we were on air. We got a little sidetracked.
Yeah. And I didn't get to do the sound check and everything else. So
Well, I'm just happy that someone wants to hear me.
Jeff Frederick with Glocker Realty does.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. You're the one person maybe all week.
Oh, you sell yourself short.
All right, we have people tuning in. We're a little bit late. We're basically here just talking and lamenting some of our issues. But you know what? The show, maybe it wouldn't be as fun or rewarding if we didn't have as many challenges to work through. See, I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah.
See how
I get you. It's the hard work, and that's all you. I mean, I just sit here and try to encourage you.
You read the news and you sell a lot of merch. You sell more merch than I do. So, we all have our roles. We all have our roles to play. Thanks again for the people that are tuning in on Porchcast Pottstown on YouTube. We appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button does not cost you anything, and it does help the show. If you're watching on Facebook, remember to share the show to your news feed and groups so that we can keep continuing to spread the good word about all the things that are happening in Pottstown and the surrounding area.
We got a couple people over on 3 people over on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Here's what's going on. We have Matt Moyer today. I grew up with Matt Moyer here in Pottstown. Matt Moyer and I worked together for Pottstown Parks and Recreation for several summers down at the Gruber Pool. Matt is now the principal at Rupert Elementary School. How long have you been with the Pottstown School District?
This is my 16th year.
Wow.
16 years.
Yeah.
And Matt is also a children's book author, a published children's book author, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So today we're having Matt Moyer on the show so that he can tell us a little bit more about his new children's book. So I say we just start chewing into it.
Well, I'm actually going to correct you there and say my new book is not a children's book.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's a collaboration. I brought it along for all of you that are watching. It's a collaboration with John Armada.
Okay.
Mr. Pottstown.
Yeah, Mr. Pottstown. How lucky am I to work with the John
Armada?
Yes. So, so I have 2 children's books in the works in addition to the one that I've already done.
Okay.
So those will be coming out in the next few months, you know, depending upon how long some things take. But this one is called Sunday Night Words of Wisdom.
Okay.
And if you know John Armada, he often puts out Sunday Night Words of Wisdom. So I got to thinking about that because I love quotes and those kinds of things. And I kind of collaborated with John. I said, hey, why don't we put this into like a book form that could be something that people could use? So in addition to just quotes, because I've gotten books of like quotes, and that's great. You read them, and then it's done.
Yeah.
But this is intended to be a book that people can use and like, okay, I'm going to look at this on a Sunday night and read this quote, and then it's got like a journal type thing that people can use and reflect upon that quote for their week and think about it, or they could do it at the end of the week. Hey, this, you know, I read this now, and this, you know, helped me with these things. So it's a chance for some journaling and some thought-provoking things based on some words of wisdom from people that are way wiser than me. There's no Matt Moyer quotes in here. I know everyone's disappointed about that.
But you're the editor, so to speak.
Yeah.
You've collated this information together.
Yeah, so he and I put it together and worked on it as a kind of collaboration. And, it's out there on Amazon for people to purchase if they're interested.
Cool. I'm going to grab the link right now.
And what's the name of the book again?
So it's called Sunday Night Words of Wisdom, Weekly Quotes of Inspiration.
So this is a way to help organize your thoughts and to stay mindful and to
be inspired,
focus your
mind.
Yeah, inspiration. That's
it
a
is.
Good word.
Right there.
And then also focus your thoughts. Yeah, right here. This book is designed to help you find, focus, and reflect. Yeah, find, focus, and reflect. So we've talked a lot about that, especially during the stay-at-home order when we were doing the daily show. Ways that people could stay mindful and focus their thoughts in a chaotic world, or when you have a lot of stress and stuff's going on. And there's some pretty good people in here that you'll know. Helen Keller, Paula, how do you say that? I always say her name wrong.
I would say like Kalo.
Paulo Kalo. Patricia Summit, George Patton, Albert Einstein, Bryant McGill, Eleanor Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln,
that guy,
Rosa Parks. Some good stuff.
Yeah, so John picked some of his favorites, and I picked some of my favorites.
Right.
And, things that always cause me to pause and reflect. And, it's good for all of us to take some time, and just a few words from someone can often spark something in you or in me, and it does in me, to move me in a different direction than I thought I might be going on this particular day or this particular week.
Yeah.
And, it's designed for like a year, so there's one for every week and a couple of bonus ones I threw in there at the end.
Okay.
And, I just thought it was a neat project to work on. So,
yeah.
I mean, the only reason to do these things is just for my own, joy.
I gotcha.
Right.
John and I aren't making any big bucks off of
Hey,
any
Right.
that sounds familiar, right, Matt?
Right. No, we spent one of the reasons why we were late to the show, and one of the reasons why I didn't realize we were having a technical problem until 5 minutes before the show was Amy and I were talking about some of the self-reflection that I've done over the past few days about things that I want to do within my business, and then also very closely related to my business, things that I want to do in order to continue to serve the community and network. And I was having those same things, like, so be above and beyond just making money, which we all need to do, you also want to have some success, some joy. You want to have that inspiration.
Yeah,
in
feel
what
like you're
doing.
making a difference in a way.
Yeah. So it's interesting. This is not where I thought the conversation was going to go today, but I guess in a way it was a little bit of kismet.
Sure.
I didn't realize that your book your new book is for adults. I do see some people just joined us, so why don't you give everybody the name of the book again so we can bring up the new watchers to speed?
Yeah, so those of you that are watching, I'll hold it up. It's called Sunday Night Words of Wisdom, Weekly Quotes of Inspiration. It's available on Amazon.
I put the link in the chat there.
Fantastic. If you go to Amazon, search us up, you can find that. Yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, these things are just things that, I've gotten into, actually, some of them since the shutdown a little over a year ago, and to try to push myself to do something. Like, some of these things are just to say, hey, I'm going to see if I can make a book and see it through to fruition.
Yes.
Like, and so, this one was really focused on, adults or young adults even, to help them find focus. And I think a lot of people enjoy and, keep journals. And there are, people that I know that keep a journal all the time. And they have years and years and years worth of journals. And I think this could be something like that for them to kind of replace a journal for the year potentially.
Right. And you're giving them something to reflect on so that they can focus their thoughts on a certain idea or a certain concept. Susie Marcucci Kennedy, who is our literary liaison on Porchcast, is saying that this book is right up her alley.
She puts up a really good quote every
day.
Yep.
I have found over the course of time, and I learned this through my studies in history, a lot of our founding fathers, and I'm not being sexist, it's just a turn
That's
of
just
phrase.
a term.
A lot of our founding fathers spent certain portions of their day in private study or in self-reflection. Some of them used the Bible as inspiration.
Were some of them Quakers?
Some were Quakers, some were religious, some were deists, some were atheists. But there is a direct correlation between the successfulness of our founding fathers and the time that they spent in self-reflection or self-study. So I started doing this about a year or so ago. Usually in the morning, I take a little bit of time to read something. It's not always spiritual. And because I have a proclivity for political science, it's usually politically motivated, but every morning I try to spend some time reading and reflecting on some issue or some topic. And I do find that it does help me kind of focus my thoughts, and I have found that it's helpful. Even today, just our little chat before the show has now proven helpful in this conversation, because I thought we were going to be talking about kids' books.
Well, and it's
we can talk about those too.
It's it's a way of meditating. Meditating isn't necessarily always your way of meditating is to find something to read in the morning that kind of sets your intention for the day, or maybe it's reading these quotes on a Sunday night and setting your mindfulness for the week. There's different ways of meditating. Some people go to church. Some people just literally do TM or do yoga or whatever.
Right.
So it's whatever.
It's more of an active meditation than something passive you would do. Yeah, mindfulness for sure. What else do you want to tell us, man? You got a lot of, besides the books, plural now.
Yeah. World-renowned author.
I
don't know that I'm renowned. Well, actually,
have any of your books been sold overseas?
They have,
There you go.
but the only reason is I probably because I happen to have some friends like in Germany, and so they, at least one of them, bought the book. So I can say world. I don't know. I wouldn't say we're renowned. World known, maybe?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Well, we say
one
the
person
same
in
thing.
Europe knows me.
Worldwide seller?
Just
leave out best. Worldwide seller.
I'm going to have to check the report on Amazon because I can see if they've sold certain places.
Sure.
And so I'm going to have to check, man, if I'm world, really world or just Europe or wherever the case may be.
When we were doing the Daily Show, we were starting to reach places like Czechoslovakia, Italy, the United Arab Emirates, Pakistan. Now, I think some of those might have just been scam.
Those are bots for sure.
Yeah, they might have just been scam factories trying to figure a way to scam us. But some of them were actually legitimate listeners to the show.
Well, listen, I have my friend Andrea tunes in from Wales, and my friend Kaylee sometimes will tune in from Canada. So totally, we have an international audience.
So hopefully we'll help you spread your acclaim as an author throughout the world. So the other thing too is, and you were talking about this when you first sat down with us when we were getting your mic set up, about some of the things that you have going on at Rupert, and I was listening to you in one ear and trying to figure out our problem with the other part of my brain. But I want you to recap for the folks that are listening now about the response that the kids have given you about coming back into school and about them wanting to be there or not. What's your experience been over at Rupert?
Yeah, so on the 22nd of March was when we welcomed students back. It was 375 days, I think, from the last time we had children in the building in earnest. And we're in a hybrid, and so we have about a third of our kids coming in. And I will say, like on every day, but on the first day especially, kids were just showing so much joy to be there. They are happy to be in school. They love to see their teacher that they've only seen on a screen. Yeah. They love to see, all the people at school. And I have the great opportunity right now because we're bringing kids in the afternoon, and I don't always have a meeting. Like in the regular school year, I have a meeting every single morning at 8 o'clock, and I very rarely get out to see the kids come in. But now I can, and I get the chance to greet them. And you can see, even though they have a mask on, you can see the joy, the smiles. The first day, I'll be honest, I had some kids run up and give me a hug, and that's okay. I know we're supposed to social distance, but I'm not going to,
Right. Yeah, right.
And it just showed the real happiness they had. And they're happy to be there. I mean, I get to go into classrooms. I go into every classroom every day. And you can just see how much they appreciate being in live teaching with their live, teacher and interacting. And, there aren't full classrooms, but they get to, interact with classmates, and it's just great. I mean, we are happy to have kids back in the building.
It was really evident in the pictures from the first day back. Even though the kids all had masks on, you could tell they were just beaming underneath the masks. I mean, those pictures just made me want to hug every single one of those kids. You could just tell how happy they were.
Yeah, I mean,
so do you think you said you in a typical school year in non-COVID times you have a meeting every day at 8 o'clock, but seeing how much of an impact it is for you to be there to welcome the kids into school, do you think that's something that you could maybe change? Like, could maybe that meeting move until 9? Right?
That seems like it should be a positive thing that the principal should be doing rather than doing some bureaucratic process.
Right. Well, it's process. So to be honest, it's not every day. It's almost every day.
Yeah. Sure.
And they're different meetings. So what we have is, a variety of meetings that can only take place with teachers when they're available.
I gotcha.
And that's when they're available.
Right.
I gotcha.
So I might have an IEP meeting.
Yeah.
I might have a 504 meeting. We have student study team meetings with teachers. So those all happen in a regular year from 8 till right when the kids come in at 8:40.
Got it.
And so I wish. And I can't say there are no days I get out at the beginning of the year before those ramp up.
Yes.
I can. And so I wish I didn't have so many meetings. And,
that's
and
the story
right
of
now,
everybody's life. Less meetings, please.
And, the ability to have some meetings over Zoom may actually help me later on because some of those meetings pull me out of the building, and I can be back in the building. So, but yeah, I mean, I make it a habit to get in every classroom every day, and I hit that almost 100%.
And how many classrooms is that, Matt, in your building?
We have 16 regular classrooms.
Okay, so you pop in to everyone at least once a day.
Yeah, at least once a day. I try to, walk around, check out what's going on. You can learn a ton as a principal from just getting in the rooms. I tell teachers all the time, if we get to the end of the year and you tell me you did something and I didn't know about it, that's my fault. I should know what's happening in the school.
Right.
And so for anyone who's a principal out there, and I know there's some principals, I follow groups and things, I read something recently where it was like advice for new principals, get into the classrooms at least once a week. And I wanted to scream, like, no.
Once a week?
No, once a week.
Right.
Get in the classrooms every day. The kids know who I am. They know me. They feel comfortable with me, and they should. That's part of my, guiding principles, not P-A-L like me, but P-L-E.
Right.
And you have to guide your decisions by that. So, anyway, I just think that, that's critically important, that the kids see me, the teachers see me, and I'm accessible. And I can't always be as much as I like, but every classroom, every day is my goal.
You got to make that effort and move beyond the challenge. See the challenge as an opportunity. I think that's what I'm hearing. Now, I've kind of given you a little bit of a softball pitch, so let me speed it up a little bit for you, all right?
Okay.
I know you can handle it. I'm not going to ask you anything. You're a smart guy. You're engaged. I know you can handle my hardball questions. How much work do you think it's going to take to get these kids caught back up? Because regardless of what school district they were in, we've had kids across the nation that have missed hundreds and hundreds of days at school. There's a delay. 2020 definitely caused a delay in American education. How do you see this playing out here in Pottstown or at Rupert?
Well, so there's a lot of pieces to that. We have some kids who have missed time because they're not coming to class for a variety of reasons, and that creates its own unique challenge. I'll spin it a little bit and be upfront with you to spin the answer a little bit to say that I think our kids have also gained a ton of skills that they would not have otherwise gained.
I don't disagree with you one bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think Mr. Rodriguez said the same thing when he was on the show.
Yeah, if you would have told me a year and a half ago, I'll say, hey, Matt, every kid in your school is going to have a device and know how to use Google Classroom by September of 2020. I would have said, you're nuts. Right. That's never going to happen. In my career, I didn't think we would be one-to-one in Pottstown because of our financial challenges.
Right.
And so the glass is half full because we have now acquired, as kids and as educators, a whole skill set that we're going to continue to use. I mean, the skills that we now have technically will advance kids in a variety of ways and teachers in a variety of ways. Other places are going to be a challenge. So, for example, because I work with little kids, if you're a kindergartner and you haven't learned properly how to hold your pencil and form the letters, a teacher can't do that virtually. I can't see how you're holding. When I say, write the letter A on your whiteboard and hold it up, you make it however you made it. Now you held it up. Those things are going to be a challenge to pick up. That's just one example.
Yeah,
but
no, it's a good. I think it's a good one. That's
especially
an
at those younger
one.
ages.
Absolutely.
Right? Where the hands,
so
it really is hands on.
Yeah, there are certain things that you can only do hands on. Like I have a wonderful occupational therapist who works with kids with cutting and drawing and writing. She can only do a small percentage of her job.
Right.
If you're not face to face.
Right.
Yeah. How do you see it playing out? I guess my question really goes to what kind of time and effort do you see it taking to overcome that lag? Because obviously I don't think it's going to be a one-to-one day. You know what I mean? It's not like every day a kid missed, he's that far behind. Because clearly the kids still learn stuff. They learn things that they might not have otherwise learned. I guess my question really goes to is how long do you think it's going to take to get, and I'm talking the average student. I know there's outliers on either side. How long do you think it's going to take them to get back up to speed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to quantify that, right?
Okay.
I don't. I really don't.
Uh-huh.
The assumption is, and I think that we will be back in full regular school next year.
Yeah.
Except for the kids whose parents say, that's not for me anymore.
Right.
And then
right.
we'll have some of those,
Sure.
for whatever it's worth, who decided that this works great for their kids. Because there are some kids
Sure.
that this mode of learning is right up their alley, and they have blossomed in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a whole bunch of other kids that they didn't blossom from this. It wasn't their cup of tea. So one of the things, and I'll pat the Pottstown teachers on the back. I was just talking with some other people about this. They are highly skilled in differentiated instruction. And
Okay.
so, we do a lot of small group and a lot of assessing to figure out where you're at and to meet you where you're at. Because next year, when we come into the school year and we do some beginning of the year assessments, we may see that gap being different, whereas most kids are kind of on target, and then you have this other group that's not. We're probably going to see a bigger difference in that.
Sure.
And for our teachers in Pottstown, they're highly skilled at that.
Yeah,
they're
I've
used
always
to
said that about Pottstown schools, especially at the elementary level. I think they do a really good job of identifying what kids, where they are, and teaching to them there. So whether they are, whether they have an IEP or they are gifted, have a gifted IEP or they have a 504 or whatever, they do a really great job of meeting the kids where they are and teaching them to their level, whatever that level is.
I guess my answer is every child's different, so the time it's going to take is going to be
it's gonna
different,
be
and
different.
it just is. I think about things like this, we've had other things happen in certain segments of the country where there were natural disasters
Sure.
and kids didn't have
Hurricanes,
school
floods,
for a while.
right.
Hurricanes, floods. Kids, they get caught up. And so I say that just to keep perspective to everyone. Like, it is not doom and gloom. It's not dun, 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 okay, we're never going to catch up. Like, that's not happening. Like, we will get there. And
Yeah.
some kids will make up some of that time over the summer by attending summer school programs that we're offering, and some will make some of those things up over the course of the first few months, and some it's going to take longer. And as you said, like students that were already behind, I do think that they're going to be, some of them, a little further behind for a variety of reasons. And others have had parents that have kicked in and are doing amazing things. And I think that I just was talking with teachers and came up with actually a little postcard for teachers to send home to parents if they want to say, hey, thanks, Dad, or thanks, Mom, because we have some amazing moms and dads, uncles, aunts, grandparents that are sitting with kids and helping them do school every single day.
Yeah.
And they're doing an amazing job with that. I'm fortunate. My kids are teenagers, and so they didn't need me to do that. And even if I did sit with them, I'm not sure how great I am at calculus or Spanish. So for our kids, though, like we have some amazing families out there, and that's all over the country, I'm sure.
Sure.
That are doing some great things to help make sure their kids are on track with some of these skills.
Right.
There are some other areas that we're just not focusing on that are going to be, that kids are missing. You can only do virtual phys ed
Right.
in so many
Sure.
ways. Although if you haven't seen Mr. Fabian's videos,
I'm sure they're spectacular.
they are spectacular. I mean, he's got some guests. I've seen Captain America and some other people on his videos. So, but the point is, you can only do so much, this way. So there's certain things that kids have definitely missed, and it's going to take some time, but good hard work will always, I think, overcome.
Gotcha. So speaking of those videos, and I know that you do an excellent job on social media about getting the word out about what you're doing and about Rupert. Do you want to give some people some of those links to some of your social media platforms so they can find out what's going on at Rupert Elementary School? Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Yeah, we have all the social media one at Rupert. We've got Facebook, Rupert Elementary School in Pottstown. There are other Rupert Elementary.
Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
None of them are as good.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Same like Porchcast. There are other Porchcasts,
Sure.
but None like
this.
Yeah. We're on Instagram, Rupert Elementary. We're on Twitter, Rupert Elementary. Our YouTube channel, Rupert Elementary School. You can subscribe there. There's a lot of videos there. Some of those are just, the talking head, me telling people things, because I think it's important to get information out in a variety of ways. And then there's some cool ones that have slideshows of pictures. And if you go way back to a year ago, you can see me doing experiments in my kitchen.
The kitchen table experiments.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about those during the shutdown before schools kind of went back into virtual and there was this kind of lag. We were guiding people over to Rupert Elementary for the kitchen table experiments in order to help keep their school-age kids busy with something to do, positive.
I will say this, too, to the viewers. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Even if you, I follow the Rupert Elementary Facebook page because
I do too.
I love the pictures. The posts are so uplifting and they're so, it just reminds me of, Americana. This is America. It's a very diverse school. The population of the school is very diverse, just like America, and the kids are so darn cute, and you do some fun things. You've got the mismatched outfits, or I see today you had Team Jersey Day, and it's just. It just makes me feel good. When I look at the schools or the pictures on the Rupert Elementary School page, it gives me hope.
Well,
not to be corny, but it gives me hope.
I'm glad to hear that for a lot of things. I agree with all that you said. And for me, it's my goal. One of my other goals every day is at least one thing on our social media pages every single day. And why do I do that? One of the reasons is that often, Pottstown is the best kept secret around.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be a secret. I want everyone to know the awesome things we're doing. And so how do you get to know? You put it out there. So I'm not scared of a little shameless self-promotion of Rupert because I think Rupert is awesome. I love the school. I love our kids. They're amazing. They're great kids. They're fantastic teachers and our support staff and everyone, and they deserve all the recognition in the world. And, Amy, you said something that really struck me in terms of, we are diverse, and you can see right here in Little Pottstown at Little Rupert Elementary School what the world should be like when you have kids that all look different together doing great stuff.
Yes.
And, there's no thought, I don't think, for those kids of, hey, you look different than I do or anything. I often look at a picture, whether I took it or someone else, and I go, this is Pottstown.
Yeah, this is Pottstown. This is America.
Yeah. And, so I'm glad to hear that, and I love, putting that out there. And I think, too, parents love that. Who doesn't want to see their kid learning in school and see a picture of them or see a picture of them with their reward they got or whatever the case may be? So
I think for me, it's a way that it's definitely provided me with a tool in the job that I do. Excuse me. Getting people convinced that Pottstown is a good place to move if you want to raise your family and have school-age children.
Yes.
It helps overcome a lot of that background noise that we hear about Pottstown schools. And it actually gives people real, visible, tangible data that overcomes some number on a real estate website school ranking system, right?
Yeah, those rankings are bullshit.
They are. And they're not backed, a lot of them aren't backed by anything other than people that took the time to fill out a form, and often those times they were complaining about something. So that's why I like what you do at Rupert. And some of the other positive things that come out from the school district, like somebody just posted up about how the Pottstown High School wrestling team won the Good Sportsmanship Award for Pac-10. Those are the messages that we need to get out because that's the real deal. That's what's really happening.
Right. And I would much rather have a team that wins a sportsmanship award than wins the finals or whatever.
Well, sure. It would be nice to have both.
It would be nice to have both. It would be nice to have both. But I think that
No, there are sore winners.
Kids,
They're sore winners.
Absolutely. And our kids to sportsmanship. I mean, anybody that knows the story of Harrison Wolf and the great spelling bee debacle of 2013. The way that, do you not know that story?
I'm sure I do, but
well,
anyway.
He would be mortified if I'm telling the story.
Okay.
But he choked on the spelling bee. He
yes,
totally
I
choked, and had like a complete like block on the stage.
It happens.
And Mrs. Cooper had to come up and like put her arm around him, and he panicked. Well, once he finally got the word, and let me tell you, the audience, the entire middle school was in the audience. Everyone was silent. Silent. Took 5 minutes. Harrison
I actually remember
composed
this, 'cause
himself.
Andrew was in the spelling bee that year.
Composed himself,
Yeah.
right? And then once he finally understood the word, because he couldn't
I remember
understand
this.
what to call it. So once he finally got the word, he was like, "Oh, suave, 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 no problem." The whole place cheered. Nobody made fun of him for crying on stage.
Yeah.
He was in 7th grade. Nobody made fun of him. Nobody teased him. Everybody patted him on the back. Harrison, great job, so great. That is Pottstown.
Right.
Or like, when Marvin scored a touchdown, the blind football player.
Right.
Everybody was cheering him
Yes.
on. That's
Yeah.
Pottstown. That's the heart of Pottstown.
Well, and I think, the sportsmanship award, people can make fun of that, but I never would, because that's what life is about.
Yes.
If you follow any real great coaches, again, like some quotes
I was just
in the
going to
book.
say, it's a good
Right.
way to bring it back to your book. Yeah.
Like there's some great quotes for some great coaches in here. And a great coach never talks about winning. They talk about all the things you do, and if you do these things, then you put yourself in a position to win.
Right.
And sportsmanship, that's life. Like in life, the people that were athletes when they were younger go on, almost all of them, like 99.9% of them, go on to do something that's not sports in real life. And those skills that they learned in athletics, like sportsmanship, pay dividends in their real life, in their real jobs, in their real relationships. And the people that just focused on winning the game with a bunch of 6-year-olds, which I've seen as a dad coaching
Sure.
and drives me insane,
Right.
that's not benefiting anyone except for somebody's ego who needs to win the 6-year-old championship, which is sad.
Which is pathetic.
I was going to say that too. So the sportsmanship matters, and unfortunately for some of our kids in Pottstown, they haven't had the opportunity to play the game because they might not have the finances.
It's what we go through with soccer in Pottstown. Yeah. Yeah.
So
all good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's what you were saying, Matt, about putting positive messages out on the Rupert social media every day to get the good word out about the Pottstown schools is pretty much what Matt and why we're doing this show, because we were tired of hearing about negativity. So let's put something out there in people's news feeds, and let's put, when people search, maybe they're moving to Pottstown, maybe they're looking to move to Pottstown. What do we want them to find? We want them to find things like the Rupert Elementary Facebook page. We want them to find Porchcast. We want them to find all of the other positive things that are happening in the positive groups that are doing positive things in Pottstown. So let's just flood it out there so that people can see that, maybe you look at the demographics or you look at the school ratings. Those things don't look so great on paper, but Pottstown is so much more than what it looks like on paper.
We're trying to tell, there's more to the story.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell the whole Pottstown story. And I would also say this too, and we've said this time and time again on this show, we're not Pollyanna either. There's definitely challenges. We had Mr. Rodriguez on the show. We talked about some challenges that are going on within the school district, some communication challenges with some of the parents. And those are all real things. And in order to tell the whole story, yes, there's positives and there are negatives. But in my estimation, at least around here, the positives certainly outweigh the negatives. Certainly. And Jason Morris is saying that you're one of the best assets that Pottstown School District has.
Agreed.
And because of men and women like you, those challenges are being tackled. Those negatives are being addressed in one way, shape, or form. And just like you said earlier, when it comes back to bringing the kids back into school, some of those challenges are going to be quick fixes, and other ones are going to take a lifetime or maybe even a career to address.
I mean, I appreciate Jason's words, very kind. But the real great people are the teachers, the assistants, the custodians, the secretaries.
Yeah.
They get it done, and they do things all the time that I know other people aren't doing in other schools, and they just do it. They don't. No one asks them to. You know, I see a teacher walking out to their car with a bag, and in the bag is the workbooks and stuff for a kid. Hey, where are you going? I'm dropping this off at Johnny's house. You know, Johnny's mom was working and couldn't get here, so I'm just going to drop it off.
Right.
No one asked them to do it. No one told them to
No
do
one's
it.
expecting them to do it.
No one's expecting them to do it. Yeah, they just do it because they're committed to the kids. They are, you know, just wonderful people. The people that work in Pottstown, the teachers, the assistants. I mean, they're the unsung heroes too. The classroom assistants, by the way, they're incredible people too. They just do great things. And I've worked a couple other places. I won't name those places, and I won't say bad things about them because they're great schools. Every school has their challenges, but I work with the best people around. So any teachers that are watching, I thank you. Teacher Appreciation Week. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up at the beginning of May, and I'll put a plug out there to everyone that thank a teacher. Everyone, every adult had some teacher who taught them something that they can say thank you for, you know. And, you know, if you haven't done it as a grown-up, find that math teacher, that kindergarten teacher, whoever it is, and say thank you to them if they made an impact on your life. And I can guarantee you, Matt, I tell teachers this all the time, they're not going to remember the Star-Spangled Awesome reading lesson that you did. They're going to remember the connection that you made with them, the relationship that you built with them.
Yeah.
That's going to last them a lifetime.
That you came to their house and dropped off the workbook when your mom couldn't get
my
there.
parents paid a lot of money for me to go to a private Catholic school in St. Al's, and I was there for 9 years, including kindergarten, and I don't ever remember one of my teachers dropping something off at the house. Not once.
Unless it was like a ruler across your knuckles, right?
No one came to the house. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, I think it just goes to show that there's a lot of positives. There's some hidden treasures,
Yes.
and we're trying to kind of brush the dust off of them. And having guys on the show like Matt Moyer certainly make it helpful. We're coming down to the end of the show, and I know that we have a lot of news and updates.
I need to have my own news song like Robin does.
Yeah, I know. Before we get into the news, though, I want Matt to tell people the name of his book again, because I know
And your other book, and your
some
kid's book.
folks have come off the show, and now there's new ones on. So let's update the new watchers. And hit them with your book title.
Sure.
Again.
So this one is one that John Armada and I collaborated on, Mr. Pottstown, John Armada. It's called Sunday Night Words of Wisdom, Weekly Quotes of Inspiration. And, you know, it's designed as like a journal where there's a quote for you to reflect on for your week and do some journaling in it as well. So that, again, is available on Amazon, Sunday Night Words of Wisdom. That's new, been out for just a couple of months now. And one that's been out for maybe 8-9 months is the children's book that I did, The Adventures of David and Donald, The Fractured Flower Pot. And this is based on some true life stuff. And
yes, you told us about it on your first appearance on
Yes.
Porchcast, that your book had just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's a good book for, you know, responsible decision making for kids, a good read aloud, a good one for a kid to just read, and it, you know, takes them kind of through what happens or what can we do, what should we or should we not do when we make a mistake. And my wonderful illustrator on that, which is Katie Coulong. I have to give her a shout out because she did an amazing job. And she's working on the second book right now, drawing the pictures for the next one in this series of David and Donald, which is going to come out in the next few months. She's working on it. There may be, Amy, some familiar names in that book that you might know from some people maybe that I grew up with.
Maybe some neighborhood folks?
Maybe some neighborhood folks
Interesting.
that might have made the book. We'll see.
All right.
So I'm excited about that.
When I see a lifeguard in one of your books, I'll just pretend that's me.
I don't know if there's a lifeguard in this, but there's a lot of great stories from Gruber Pool that could be told. A lot.
Do you think those might not be for a children's book, though, right?
Well, they could be tweaked.
I mean, we could just do like water safety. Like if you don't know how to swim, don't jump off the diving board.
That's a pretty good tip.
Listen, we had a lot of fun at Gruber, and
that must have been such a fun job. You were all teenagers,
we were all in our teens and early 20s, so yes, there was a lot of partying, and there was a lot of mischief. But I will tell you, on a day-to-day basis, that pool ran pretty smoothly, and I will say, in the 6 years that I worked at that pool, we never lost anybody.
Which is good.
We made every single save. Every one.
Great.
And that place, first of all, it's a gem. It was a gem.
It was.
When it closed, I was sad for the community because we would get lots and lots of middle school age kids.
Yeah.
And guess what? When they came to the pool, they were safe.
Yeah.
They had a safe place to be, to hang out and do fun stuff that wasn't getting in trouble.
Right.
And, when it closed, I feel like the community misses that and needs that. And Matt is right. Listen, we would pull 30, 40 kids out in a summertime.
More than that.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah.
And,
it wasn't always kids. Sometimes
that's
the
true.
adults.
It wasn't always kids. And we joke, but listen, we worked with great people.
Yeah.
They were great kids that were doing a valuable service, and lifeguarding is a really important job. We joke, but it is an important job. I mean, listen,
it's amazing to me that they put teenagers in charge of that.
I was the assistant manager of that pool when I was 19. Yeah.
You didn't even have frontal lobes yet.
Yeah. That still baffles me that you were the assistant manager of anything.
I think that might have been the only one that applied for the job.
Hey, whatever it takes, right?
Right.
I was the assistant manager right after you.
Because I quit.
Yeah, you left, and it was time.
No, I didn't leave. You know what happened? I was getting ready to go on my cross-country journey, and I knew I couldn't stay for the whole season. So I had to resign as assistant manager because that was a salary job because they expect you to be there the whole season.
Sure.
And I knew I was leaving in August.
Well, that was very responsible of you.
So I resigned as assistant manager and went back as a lifeguard.
Right.
And then Matt, you took over as assistant manager after I left. Yeah.
All right. Getting some nice love over
Jason
in the
Morris is saying he got his first kiss at Gruber Pool. Hey, look, I wanted to throw this out there too.
For the Kenny Butler says his kids are better off for being in the Pottstown School District.
There you go. Kenny Butler is one of our community leaders from the Victory Christian Life Center. Thanks for tuning in. I also want to throw this down. 5 watchers today on YouTube.
I know.
I
Jeanette
think that's
Himes,
a record.
Thanks for tuning in. She says, great pool, most fun ever.
Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button.
Please.
We need subscribers on YouTube.
All
Kelly Horvat, Gruber was awesome. It was certainly awesome. All right, let's bust into the news.
All right, 30 seconds for Amy's eco tips.
Oh, ego or eco? Or maybe they are ego tips.
Amy's eco tip for today: get yourself a reusable straw.
A metal straw.
A metal straw. There's all sorts of different straws out there. If you like to drink out of a straw, which I do, I'm like really weird about I can't drink a drink like this.
I was going to say, Amy, you don't need a straw.
But I like to drink out of a straw, especially like this.
Because you could just tilt the glass
I would
and
say
it
this,
comes out.
A milkshake or a daiquiri you kind of have to do the straw on
Right.
this.
Right.
You ever try to drink a daiquiri without a straw? Like a frozen daiquiri?
Yeah, I think that I have done. I'm not a milkshake guy, so
Okay.
So-
but we have a few of those at home. My daughter uses them, so definitely, if you're going to use a straw, you should go with the reusable.
And I would say
It's much
also,
better
if
for the
you're somebody that goes out a lot to drink, to get
To drink.
to drink, if you go out, like if you get a lot of drive-through or fast food, when we've done neighborhood pickups, so many straws in the trash out there on the street. So just
I mean,
get
you're
yourself-
totally right about that, because there are they will give you a bunch of straws and they don't get used, and it is bad,
It
for the
is,
environment, and it's
that's
creating a lot of
part
unnecessary
B of the eco
waste.
tip is if you don't need the single-use utensils, a straw, a fork, the little packet that comes with the fork, knife, spoon, napkin. When you order takeout, say, I don't need any utensils. I don't need any napkins. I'm bringing it home. So that can save the restaurant money, and it can just save that stuff ending up in the trash. So just try to be mindful of your single-use plastics.
Amy, I'm going to interrupt you one more time with
Yeah.
a really cool story that I saw on social media a few weeks back, and it's about what you just mentioned. There are some creative people who are taking the used chopsticks.
Oh, we saw that.
Did you see that?
Yes, really
where they're
cool.
taking
Making,
used
like,
chopsticks
cutting
from
boards and tables and all sorts of
yeah,
cool
they
stuff.
make they clean them, sanitize them, and then they epoxy them together
Okay.
and make all kinds of stuff out of what was going to go in the landfill.
There's
It's amazing.
billions of chopsticks that are thrown away
Tossed.
every day, like billions.
Yeah, because they're cheap little
Yep.
balsa wood.
So that's Amy's ego tip.
One more thing the metal straw can do for you.
Yes.
If you're into camping or outdoor activities, you can use that metal straw as a way to stoke up your campfire by blowing into the coals.
Like a little bellows.
Yeah, little bellows. So that you can use
Put that in your
same-
mess kit.
You put it in your mess kit for camping and backpacking, and the metal straw will help you get your
All right.
campfire
Well, there's
started.
zero chance of me going camping anytime soon, so I will just use my reusable straw.
Not a
at home.
camper,
All right.
huh?
Here's our announcements. We have the Mosaic Community Land Trust garden tours coming up. There are 3 tours, April 24th, July 10th, and September 18th. The rain date for April 24th is on May 1st. So you can go to the Mosaic Community Land Trust Facebook page and buy your tickets, which are available through Eventbrite. Gardens on the tour consist of past winners of the Home Garden Contest and other beautiful gardens in the area. Garden tour attendees will be notified in advance of the starting points in both Pottstown and Boyertown. On the day of the tour, attendees will receive garden descriptions and a map of the tour. You are free to visit any of the gardens during the 4-hour period they are open. So that sounds really like a nice way
And I
to
want
spend an afternoon. Tickets
It's
are
awesome.
$20 in advance or $25 the day of the tour. Series tickets, which is all 3 dates, can be purchased for $50, and then they also have an option for lunch at Gracie's, which is an additional cost.
Tracy
Mm-hmm.
Purdy was on the show today, and she's the one that shared that information with
Yes.
us from Mosaic Community Land Trust. I also want to let everyone know that I posted that link to Eventbrite at Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate on Facebook. So if you go over to my page on the wall, you can click on that Eventbrite link
Mm-hmm.
and get yourself tickets to the garden tours that Amy just beautifully told you about. I helped with
Some
the garden
beautiful
tour the
gardens.
one year. I was a volunteer up at the 423 Gardens. I didn't get to see all the gardens, obviously, because I was stationed at one garden.
Right.
But it was a good day, and
Mm-hmm.
was an interesting day for meeting new people and networking with my neighbors. So
Nice.
I would highly recommend participation.
Just put the
in that
link for the
event.
Eventbrite in the chat there.
It's
Yeah.
in the Facebook chat,
In the Facebook chat.
so you could click on
I
it
will
that
put
way.
it in the garden tour tickets. I will put it, there it is, in the YouTube also.
There you
Okay.
go. So
Speaking
it's
of Mosaic Community Land Trust, they are having their garden cleanup this Saturday, the 17th, at, is this at the Chestnut Street? Why does this
I
not
think
have?
I believe that the garden cleanup is happening at all of their gardens.
Okay, so Chestnut Street and Walnut.
Chestnut, Walnut. They're at Barth, and there's a garden at the Hill School. It's all of their gardens.
Okay.
Tracy, if you want to clarify that for us.
And all of this information is going to be on their Facebook page. Also, here it is. This Saturday, it's 9 a.m., the garden cleanup. There's a lot of cleanups happening around town.
Yeah.
So, there's 4. You're right, Matt. 4 locations to choose from. 423 Chestnut, 615 Chestnut, 301 Walnut, or at Barth Elementary, which is over in the Manor, 467 West Walnut.
That's correct.
Right? That's the Manor?
Yes, it's a Manor adjacent.
Yes.
I helped with the garden cleanup last year and had a good time.
You had a garden, a couple of garden plots.
I had,
well, you had ended up
ultimately
adopting.
we wound up taking care of the entire thing.
Right.
Which I don't mind doing. I want to say I don't want to make it sound like it was a chore.
Right.
It wasn't. It got me out of the house. It broke up some of the monotony of the pandemic.
I benefited from some of that for sure.
I literally got pounds and pounds and pounds of food out of it that my friends and neighbors certainly benefited from.
That's why I don't feel like I need to have a garden, because I'm a gleaner.
I still have canned spaghetti sauce in the basement from...
John will be good for 5 years.
Oh, 20.
For sure, yeah.
But here's my point. It is a good way, again, to get out of your house and get your hands and feet in the dirt and make some connections with your neighbors. So I would recommend it from personal experience. Win, 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 win.
And let me give one more win, which is take your kids.
Run.
Take your kids to do that, because so many of our
That's
kids
the
think
that they don't get in school.
What's that?
That's the learning that they don't get in school.
Right. Well, we do have a garden at Rupert that Tracy has helped us with, but we're not doing much with it this year. But you're right. So many of our kids think that, tomatoes come from the grocery store, not from the ground.
Right.
And if you don't see that, you don't know, hey, I can pull this thing off the vine, clean it up, and boom, I can eat it. And that's a great experience for kids to learn about gardening. And
there were pictures, I think it was from the Peak program that were on Facebook yesterday. The kids were planting like petunias or something. They're so cute. They were planting their little flowers and watering them. And it's a great education for the kids.
Yeah.
All right. Also, this weekend,
I dropped off the chipper and shredder, and I'm hoping it's ready. I dropped it off at Passmore yesterday with the help of Ron Williams, and I'm hoping that's going to be ready for the garden cleanup.
Oh.
If it's not, I'm going to have Total Rental drop one off for them.
Right.
I thought that I was going to be able to go to the garden cleanup, but I forgot that I had already volunteered to go up to Coming Out of Hibernation in Boyertown.
You over-volunteered yourself.
I over-volunteered myself. So.
Yeah. This Saturday at Red Horse Motoring Club, which is 132 East 3rd Street, corner of 3rd and Hanover. You may remember it as Ludwig Motors.
The old Ludwig Motors.
The old Ludwig Motors.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from 8 to 3 at Red Horse Motoring is a car. What is
it's
this?
A drive-through.
A drive-through
photo booth.
Photo booth. So if you've got a really nice car that you want to take a picture of, I don't know if like my Mazda 5 minivan will. It's really
you should do it
sexy enough.
You should just buff it up.
Right.
Listen, there are some people that really buff those minivans up.
Yeah.
I think you put some hydraulics in that. You're ready to go.
Buff it up.
Yeah.
Put your pimp clothes on and model out right in front of it.
Well, so you can.
Awesome.
There will be a photographer there. Where's the other piece of?
I have to ask, why do you have a minivan now? I mean, your son is grown.
It's not only a minivan; it is the miniest of minivans. So it's like picture a minivan that went through the dryer and shrank. It's like little. It's like the size of a roller skate. I just love it. I find myself hauling things around a lot. I'm always like schlepping around some Go Forth product or stuff for the synagogue or whatever.
Porchcast t-shirts.
Porchcast stuff. So I like having a hatchback. I like the sliding doors on the side. But I'm only going to have this car for another 2 months until I get my electric vehicle. So anyway, so Red Horse, to drive your car in and take a photo with your car, registration is required. So go to the Red Horse Motoring Club website or Facebook page, and proceeds benefit the Veterans Island Project at Memorial Park, one of my favorite places in Pottstown. Saturday, April 24th is Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off Day in Montgomery County. You can find the information at montcoparecycles.org. All of the stuff that you couldn't take to the Althouse Arboretum recycling the other day, you can take to the county hazardous waste. That's like light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, and
paint,
oil-based paint, and batteries, rechargeable batteries, fire extinguishers, kerosene, drain openers, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that's under your kitchen sink that's like, you can't throw in the trash.
Do they take like tube televisions?
They do not take televisions at this one.
Okay.
That's a special, different kind of recycling.
You had to take those up to the old house.
Yes, okay. Gail says, when I'm not borrowing her minivan. Yes, when I need the larger minivan, we borrow Gail's. The Pottstown Vaccine Clinic is back up and running. It was on hiatus for a couple of days at Bethel Community Church while the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are being held. But they're back up and running today. They're giving Pfizer vaccines. You can register at montcopa.org, and you can likely get an appointment the same day or the next day. They're happening very quickly. So montcopa.org. Everybody now over the age of 16 is available or eligible for a vaccine. So if you want one, there's really very little wait, and there's lots of availability in lots of different places. So go to montcopa.org. That is, if you live or work in Montgomery County, you can sign up. May 1st, lots of things happening May 1st. What do we have, Matt, on May 1st? We have Mayfair.
That's right. At Pottsgrove Manor.
We have the powwow, which is May 1st and 2nd. We have the gala.
The gala.
The Pottstown Foundation for Pottstown Education Gala, of which there are still some tickets left. So there's a lot going on that weekend.
There's a lot going on.
There's also a car show that weekend.
On May 1st?
On May 1st.
Jeez.
Yes. Police Fishing Derby is on May 15th.
Yes.
And as it turns out, I'm not going away that weekend, so let's talk.
All right. We can, as soon as the fishing derby's over, we can start throwing lines.
Right. Be like shooting fish in a barrel or whatever they say, right? And
I can certainly
May 15th
help you catch some.
is also opening day of the Pottstown Farm. They had a great season last year, so Pottstown Farm opens on May 15th.
Matt's breaking in.
Yeah, I'm breaking in because I heard that they're going to have a local author and principal there.
Where? At which one?
At the farm on the 15th. I heard that.
Excellent.
I don't know where I heard about that.
All
Maybe
right.
it was on my telephone when I was talking to some people about it. So, yeah, I'll be at the farm on that day, on the opening
15th.
day. I'm going to be reading my book.
Excellent.
And
selling copies.
And you can even sign copies,
yes,
right?
I will have copies of both books there to purchase.
Great.
And I think I'm doing a read aloud at 10 o'clock and again at noon.
Fun.
At the farm. I did some book signing and selling there one weekend. Wonderful. Lots of great vendors. So I hope people will get out.
Yeah, it was great last year. They did such a great job of organizing it and really keeping people safe and move through in a very safe way.
I showed up a little bit late and everything was gone.
Yeah, you got to get there early.
Yeah.
Early bird
I got
gets the
some
worm.
turnips.
Yeah.
That's all that was left.
I have some turnips right now.
They were
in my fridge.
delicious,
I don't
by
know
the
what
way.
to do with them. I would like to also say a very special happy birthday to two very special people tomorrow.
Yes.
Jack Wolf and Amanda Green. Happy birthday, Jack, and happy birthday, Amanda.
Yes.
Are
Tomorrow.
you allowed to announce their ages, or is that a no-no?
I
will
don't think
not.
my sister would care.
I
My
will
sister's going to be 37.
No.
37. I'm not old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm 10 years old.
Well,
Yeah,
happy
she's 37.
birthday.
How much are your books, Matt?
Yep.
$10.
$10.
Each.
$10 each. Yep.
$10 each. And if you go back, Kelly Horvat, if you go back through the comments, there's a link to Amazon that'll shoot you over to the order page for Matt's
And
books.
super easy to find because I found it in like 4 seconds.
You did.
Yep.
It was no problem.
Yep. A couple more things. The charity auction for the Pottstown Regional Public Library is on the 22nd, May 22nd at the Carousel from 12 to 3. And you can preview the chairs at the library on Tuesday starting April 20th. Beautiful chairs. The crop of chairs this year, stunning. I would like to to give a special shout out to Stephanie Windrum, my friend and coworker. Wolf Baldwin donated a chair that Stephanie painted. It is beautiful, but all of the chairs are beautiful. So check them out on the Facebook page for the library. If you want to check them out in person, you can do that on Tuesdays starting next week. Ricketts Center is looking for donations for their shower and laundry program. They need deodorant, shaving cream, razors, and snack items. You can call the Ricketts Center to make sure that they're there for drop-off, but really anytime between 8 and 5 they will take donations. Wednesday, May 5th, the Rotary Club
In case you don't have enough to do. In case we haven't given you enough things
if
to
you're
keep
bored,
yourself occupied.
you're not listening. The Rotary Club, which meets every Wednesday at Brookside Country Club, will welcome David Charles on May 5th. So if you are interested in attending that, reach out to our friend Nicole Vickers-Matz or contact the Rotary Club through Facebook.
Yeah, they're real easy to find. Rotary Club Pottstown.
Yep, or just let us know and we'll hook you up with Nicole or somebody else.
And I want to make it clear because I know that there was some questions because I saw Nicole fielding some questions about Rotary on her thread.
Okay.
You do not need to be a member in order to attend that Wednesday meeting where they're introducing Dave Charles.
Right.
All you have to do is contact the Rotary and ask to be a guest.
Yep.
You also don't have to be a business owner in order to join the Rotary.
No.
Any Rotary is open to any business
You can just
or
be
individual.
somebody that is community minded.
Right. I just wanted to make that clear to folks.
Yep.
Those meetings are open to the public. You just need to get an invitation, which is free.
Yep.
And if you ask Nicole, she'll give you the invitation you need.
Exactly. Monday, May 3rd is Pottstown Community Action. Our friend Tamara Charles, Pottstown Community Action Open House at 467 West Walnut Street. That is, looks like says event by Mosaic Community Land Trust, so that's in conjunction with Mosaic. This is at the Barth Community Garden, 467 West Walnut Street, and hear about all of the great things that Pottstown Community Action is doing in our community. Finally, Spring Craft Show at the Alley, Sunday, April 25th. So that's just a couple of weeks before Mother's Day, so you can go down, buy something nice for your mom. That is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Alley, and a lot of our favorite local craftspeople and artisans will be there. That's what I got.
Don't forget to share this information with folks.
Share alike.
If you want to, I would encourage you to share this show to your news feeds and your groups so that other people can get the word. If you see these events going on, share the events to your news feed. Just because you're seeing it in your news feed doesn't mean that other people are seeing it. If you want people to know what's going on in Pottstown and participate in Pottstown, it requires you sharing the word. That's my challenge to everyone. Help people find out what's going on. We do the best we can. Help us help you.
My dad wants to remind you that our viewers from Czechoslovakia well, Czechoslovakia has not existed since 1991.
All right. Well,
so you just wanted to remind
one
you
of the Slavias.
The Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic. There
Yes.
you go.
Well, I do want to give one
teasing.
preview of coming attractions.
Do it.
Yes, please.
For everyone, which is we have something really exciting at Rupert. We always have lots of exciting things at Rupert, but we have a mural project that both Matt and Amy know about because Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate helped fund the project along with Wolf Baldwin. It is 10 foot high and 30 feet long.
Holy.
So it is big.
Yeah,
I thought
as
it was
a
just
mural
going to be
should
like
be.
a little.
No, this is, and we've had a number of other great people that have helped donate.
Yeah, sure.
you know.
It's not just me and Amy.
It's not just, but it is done. The artist, which is from Promised Land Murals, which is local.
Carrie Kingsley. Right?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, Carrie. She did an amazing job, and it's really kind of what I hope will be a tribute to the history of Rupert. And it's being put up real soon at the end of the month. I think we're going to do a show there.
We are going to do a show at Rupert, hopefully in front of the mural if we can.
But I wanted to, put a plug and thank these guys and let the community know that coming up in a couple of weeks, it's going to be up on the Cherry Street side of the building, and it's amazing. It's something that I'm super proud of and was glad to be involved in to help make happen. And so, in a couple of weeks, everyone will be able to see it, and you won't be able to miss it because it's 10 foot high and 30 feet long.
And we'll be bringing it to you on
Yeah.
Porchcast Pottstown.
Can't wait to see
That'll
it.
be a great opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for helping support that, and I'll be sure to plug all those other supporters when we. I don't
Yeah,
wanna
we'll
miss
do the
anybody,
show.
so,
I
sure.
think maybe there's a way I can find out to maybe roll some credits. There's some video captioning that I can do on this that I need to learn
Oh,
now.
boy.
So let me
That's
put
exciting.
a little thought into it. I might be able to do a little video roll of sponsors. Let me try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
all
full
right.
confidence that you can do it, Matt.
I'll pull it off. Now that I open my fat
All right,
mouth.
Kelly Horvat says, Matt Moyer, Kelly Horvat says that she's sending your book to Guyana, South America. So there you
Wow.
go, international.
Awesome, thank you.
International author.
International.
There we go. Wonderful, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate
World
that.
selling
Yes.
author. All right, folks. It's 16 after. Thanks to Matt Moyer, Rupert Elementary School principal, one of Pottstown's finest. Pottstown kid done good. Thanks for joining us on the show, Matt. It's always a good conversation when you're here. I am Matt Green. I am your local real estate expert at Glocker Realty and Insurance. Please give me a call when you need help selling and buying residential and commercial real estate. Amy Wolf is the lady boss who hosts Porchcast Pottstown. She's also the office manager at Wolf Baldwin Associates, bringing you fine legal service in the borough of Pottstown since 1973. They are your workman's compensation experts.
Sure are. Send me your news and updates and events.
Send us any information you want to share with the community. We'll help you get it out. We are Porchcast. Let's talk